I don't want you guys to take for granted like the big steps, the small steps, any of the accomplishments and achievements that you make as, oh, I only did work. No, you had a dream first. Like you had a dream, you thought about it, you knew that you wanted to accomplish something big in your life. And because you were committed to that thought, because you were committed to that intention, you started to align with the doors being opened, the opportunities being presented, the people being put into your life. It's alignment, it's activity, it's energy, it's result. All of that is manifestation.
You're going to have to create a plan and spend some time thinking. As much time as we think, maybe there are people that spend time praying and manifesting, which you should, right? But let's also like open our eyes and let's spend the same amount of time planning out how we can go get it. And I think when you start that activity, things do start to come.
Thank you. You just...
Give me a round of applause. That was good.
It was good.
Just want to be out here by myself.
Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast. Can we be professional? Welcome to
Can I talk about it? Let's talk.
No,
here's the thing. Okay. No.
Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast. My name is Donni Wiggins, and I am sitting here with this guy over here who is apparently, I'm just finding out, a bit of a colorist.
So, no, I'm not a colorist.
David.
I'm not. Mm-hmm. But I think it's there's a lesson somewhere in this, right? Where I had to come to terms that I am just not an off the rip, just attractive person. Not ugly, but it's not like you walk by, you're like, woo.
Yeah.
No one's ever done that. I'm attractive enough for my wife before we were married to have like swiped the right way for her to say, I like the way this person looks. No, and I asked my wife, and she didn't even see the stuff on social media. I was like, they named old boy Michael B. Jordan sexiest man of the year or something like that. And I was talking to my wife, and she didn't know. She was like, all right. And I'm like, well, what you think? And she said, well, you're the sexiest man of the year. So
she saw cool. Gilly's post.
No, she didn't see it.
Is what she did
not see it. I promise you.
Listen, when you're in a relationship, there is a degree of don't hurt his feelings that are involved.
No, because
here.
It took a little while. I just made the long story short. She was like, well, I don't know. What's the list based off of? It wasn't just automatically, because that's how I know she didn't see it. But I was like, well, what do you think? Who do you think is the sexiest man in the year? And she said, you, baby. Mm-hmm. She did. I'll show it to you. You'll realize. Anyway, you're pretty attractive.
I am.
Let me ask this question. Do you think attractive people get certain privileges?
Yes.
You're about to call her? Mm-hmm. You can call her. I'm telling you, she did. Why don't you believe me?
Shh.
Okay. What else figure?
I will. She's not answering.
That's good. Yeah, first off, if she picks up, she's going to know I'm in the room.
Where is she?
I don't know. She's at home being an amazing wife and mother.
I think in full transparency, I think you're extremely attractive. But
really?
Here's why. You've grown on me. You're one of those guys.
Oh, I'm for sure a grower.
You're the grower. You grew on me.
Yeah.
Like back in the day when I met you, like 2014, you were mad corny. And you dressed really weird. And so that's why we've always been able to have such a great business relationship that was extremely platonic, because I never looked twice at this guy. Y'all saw pictures of him from back in the day? Trash. And you've
First
so
off, okay, just real quick.
I'm just playing. Your feelings are so hurt.
No, it's okay.
In the comments. I'm just joking. No, Shans, you are actually attractive.
Yes.
You're just attractive in a different way. You know what I mean?
No. Okay.
Why y'all laughing? I'm being so serious.
Answer my question.
What?
Attractive people get. Is it easier, let's say, as an entrepreneur, for attractive people to build?
Yes and no. So I believe that it's easier for you to get your foot in the door, for sure. I believe that your outward appearance, unfortunately, definitely has something to do with why you're able to get certain opportunities, but it's harder to keep them when you're attractive, especially when you're dealing with the opposite sex, because at some point, oftentimes, men will try you. Like the opportunity that's extended is not always based on your skill set. It's based on my level of attraction to you or vice versa. And after a couple of meetings and a couple of masterminds and brainstorming sessions, it becomes, we should go out for a drink. And then it becomes awkward when you say no, or when you go out for the drink and you go home at the end of the night. And so being in that situation is not ideal. Like, I think people who, and let's be clear, I don't think people are ugly. Just, you know, for the people who are watching that
never
are taking
met nobody ugly. Okay, keep going.
I believe that people are what society generally deems as unattractive. And I think once they get in the room, it's solid because you got there on merit.
Yeah. Yo, you know what I would in that serious question, because, well, honestly, I've definitely shown up with Donni for a particular reason. You know what I mean? Because she's gonna work the room, and all the guys are gonna be like attracted to her, and then she has like this brilliant business brain, and then, you know, we can like make some stuff happen, right? But has it been a challenge once you draw the line and it's like, yo, this is not what's happening? Do you see like separation? Like, I don't want to give you opportunities.
You know this. Story of my life. Yeah. Which is why so many people think I have such masculine energy. I don't, for real. A little bit. Anyway, it's why people think I have such. It's
not what people think. It's not as much energy. As people
It's what
think.
I give off to people. It is. And I'm okay with that. I am okay with that because there is no gray area with me. It's black and it's white. It's we do business or we do adult stuff. And sometimes when you do adult stuff, you can do business too. But not all the time when you do business can you do adult stuff.
Let's just talk about something else.
Let's talk about something else.
I don't know where you was going with that one. I just came back from, first off, let's just congratulate Donni on releasing her first podcast episode. Full transparency, long journey. We're really excited. You're getting a really, really good response. Are you getting the response that you thought you'd get, better or worse?
The response that I thought, better. Better. I don't know, honestly. It's it still feels like an extension of social proof, right? It just feels like we dropped a video of me. It feels like an extension of social proof. But
no, it doesn't.
The comments, the women and the men who are so happy, like literally expressing gratitude that I stepped out even when I was scared to do it anyway. And I want to clarify this fear, right? I didn't have necessarily a fear of doing. I sit in front of a camera all the time and talk. It's the fear associated with putting another major task on my plate, staying consistent with it, having to, like we had the big tech issue yesterday, like, you know, things that I have to look out for, that it's like another thing that I have to look out for. And I don't want to let you guys down. I don't want to be, and I'm not, it's up now, like it's done, it's released, but I had to really think through that process to make sure that that's what I wanted to do. So it was a fear associated with that. Also, so the way that in my mind, Full Transparency Podcast will work right now is the first drop of every month is just going to be me.
I love it.
And then the other 3 or 4 weeks, I'll have a guest that I'm having a conversation with. But let me tell you something.
Go to me.
Talking in front of the camera by yourself with no audience, because the room that I film in is too small to have an audience, talking by yourself to that camera for an hour or 45 minutes is the hardest thing to do. You have to really be engaging. And we just show up on social proof and we sit down and we start talking. Yeah. You can't do that when you're talking by yourself. Like 100%. You have to have a degree of preparation. Right?
I know it's hard, but you know what's harder is actually sitting down to do it. So I would imagine that the like how it is in your head before you actually do it is much more difficult than when you get out. So it's still difficult, but the thought of like 45 minutes to an hour of figuring out something to say. Before you do it, it's like, I don't know how I'm going to do that. But then you do it, it's still tough, but it's not as tough as you imagined it to be.
Yeah.
And then it gets easy once you've done 20, 30, 40, 50. And believe it or not, anything that you start to do, the opposite will be tougher. Meaning there's some people who just sit in front of a camera and they've been doing it for a year. and they're petrified to sit and have a conversation with somebody. Like, how am I gonna have a talk to somebody? How am I gonna get off all the stuff that I say? I don't know how I'm gonna do that. But because we're so used to throwing it back and forth, it's like, dang, how am I gonna do it? But you're gonna kill it. You're gonna have both sides too.
I appreciate that. I can stand in front and have stood in a room, in front of tens of thousands, even 100,000 people. And Bishop Jakes, don't do me.
There's 100,000 people in the room?
Yeah, he had a main set. Do you know how big MegaFest is?
Oh, those cap. Go ahead. Don't just reach him.
Don't play me when I shared the stage with Jakes, all right?
Was Jakes on the stage with you?
No, he wasn't.
It's cap.
Yeah, that part's cap. So I did share the stage with him in a way in which after I got off stage, he did join that same stage, but we weren't like side by side. Okay. But I did so good that I was personally invited by him to his birthday party. So still don't do me, Anyway, so I say that to say I can speak in front of tens of thousands of people without preparation, easy, because that's what I do. That's what we do. Yeah. But that one-on-one, and it's in every area of my life. So in like speaking to the camera, knowing that there's an audience on the other side. I didn't get this with my course though. So when I was recording my course, it was kind of cool because it was just me. But like speaking in front of that camera, having to keep you guys engaged, knowing that somebody is on the other side about to judge what you're doing. But it's the same thing, like a date for the first time is extra awkward. All those things are it's that one-on-one thing for me. I've never liked it. Yeah. But we did it.
Yeah, for sure.
We did it. And it's been a long time coming. I don't know, you've been on me for like 6 months.
Yeah. Maybe only because I know how special you are. And I just know you're really, really good. And you're good, but I don't think you know how much people are going to fall in love with you, the person, because you've been so used to having people fall in love with what you share. But this whole podcast, intimate space of them getting to know you, oh my gosh, it's going to be amazing. So give her a round of applause.
Thank y'all. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so her show, she's going to be dropping once a week and
Tuesdays.
Just for clarity, every Tuesday. Yeah. So it's really, really cool now because you can kind of see it on paper. It's like I interview people every week, right? And Donni will be on by herself or interview people every week. And then every week we get together. So our objective is we are going to stay in your face.
Period.
Foot
on their necks.
Yeah, right now.
Every time you log into your YouTube app, do you hear me? David, Donni, David and Donni.
100%.
David and Donni and somebody. We are not playing games in 2020, whatever year this is that you're watching this, when you're watching this.
We on you, man. So everybody, like, I really want you to like really think back of anything that you've done for the first time in your head. Is always scarier. You know, those people who they're so nervous to like speak. I used to bring people to the schools and they're so nervous. It's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to say to these kids? And I'm like, yo, just tell your story and talk.
Scared of kids.
First time they do it. And then the second time you can't shut them up. You like, yeah, we got 5 minutes. Okay, I got you. And you just keep going. You keep going because you get comfortable. Who you talking about?
First of all, I wasn't on camera. Don't be calling me out.
No, it distracted me. But the thing that you want to do is much scarier in your head. And okay, so I was out at I went to Angela Yee's show release party. Maybe,
this was yesterday.
For a new show, yeah. And I'm sitting there and I'm talking to Skittles. Skittles was there. First off, I was talking to Terica and I got this huge idea of
was
what
Terica
I want to
there?
do. No, she wasn't there. Okay. This was like weeks ago. So I want to build out another clubhouse, right? And so Terica's like, yo, you need to do franchising. I'm like, I don't know, because I don't want to like necessarily be responsible for people's money. Like right now, we use the space. If you need to use space, just go use a room, right? It's real kind of like loose because I don't have any investors, so I'm not obligated to nobody, right? So I technically don't have to run it like a business. I do, but I don't. I would have to have like more agreements and more structure because I'm working with people's money. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to raise any money. And Terica's like, yo, you need to raise the money. And she starts giving me a plan. I'm like, oh, wow, I could just raise some money. Because I'm always counting my own pockets when I'm deciding to do something. You know what I mean? So I'm talking to Skittles yesterday and she was telling me how these two young ladies raised $100 million or $200 million to plant like 8 different locations for some sort of business. And it failed. You raise $100 million for an idea and it fails. Are they crying? Probably not. It's just, they had an idea and it didn't work. But it wasn't like it was something based off a proven system. They had a really good idea, asked a bunch of people for money. They gave $100 million. The investment doesn't work. I'm sure the investors aren't mad because true investors don't invest money that they don't have to lose, right? So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I need to try my hand at raising a whole lot of money for an idea. And ours will work because it's going to be based off real stuff.
It's absolutely going to work. But we've already raised a whole lot of money.
For what? What do we raise money for?
The nonprofit.
That's not raising money as an investment. That's raising money at the end of the year, and people need to do some tax write-off stuff anyway.
But they were
and
investors.
A little bit of clout on stage.
They definitely wanted a little bit of clout on stage. However, they were investors. That
it's not an investment, though.
It is an investment. Well, no, it's not.
No,
an
it's a
investment.
donation.
You're right, it's a donation.
It's a donation for a cause. I'm talking about how can I put a plan together?
Shareholders? You want?
There's a bunch of different ways to structure it that I'm like going through, and I'm asking everybody I know. But I want a plan where I'm saying, hey, you give me 100,000, you give me 100,000. You'll make your money back in 2.5 years, and then you're an equity owner in whatever, or you'll whatever. But I want to put a plan together and raise $50 and $60 million to see if I can amplify some of our ideas. Because all the stuff that we've done has been based on our own pockets.
On our own pockets, yeah.
I ain't scared no more. I'm scared now.
I was going to ask you when that shift happened in your mind, because we've talked about securing investments so many times.
Yeah.
And you've always wanted to just pay cash or stay in the realm of whatever you could afford or what we could afford. What changed for you to now say, you know what, I want to do investors?
I think it's, you hear something over and over again and it just becomes more and more real. The first, you might not, like for instance, I'm like, Donni, let's do this podcast. No, I don't do no podcast. I don't even understand how this works. But then you keep hearing it, you keep seeing other people, and you see like different perspectives, and you talk to one person that gives you another unique perspective, and you're like, okay, maybe I'll try this thing.
I'm with it. I love it. I love it a whole lot.
I think I can get $100 million from somebody.
Absolutely.
Well, not one person.
This changes the scope of what I'm currently looking for.
What you mean?
Well, because we already talked about opening a second location somewhere in the city. We were talking about the budget that's in the David and Donni account.
100%. 100%.
$100 million would change some things.
50 million, 60 million. People are buying ideas.
So what's the idea? Where do you think if you and I were sitting down right now having a meeting, putting this together, where we're going to get this money from? How do we crowdfund or seek investment for $100 million?
Well, I think we first seek the advice of people who do this on a regular basis.
Okay, who do we know?
So actually, somebody sent me an email. I get an email pretty much every day of someone pitching their client to be on the podcast. And while I'm thinking about this, I got an email of a guy who that's exactly what he does. Did I manifest that?
You absolutely manifested that.
Manifesting? You know how I feel about manifestations.
He absolutely manifested that.
Let me tell you something though. You can't manifest everything. Okay? Okay, I'm okay, give me the camera, okay? I'm ready for violence today, okay? You cannot manifest millions. You can manifest finding a couple dollars on the floor. You can manifest a man, I think, maybe. You can manifest like certain opportunities, but you cannot manifest millions of dollars. You have to work for it. You can't manifest that. You just got to put a plan together. This is not, for me, okay? And I can't wait to hear Donnie's response. For me, anything that I've gotten, it's something that I wanted. I put it on plan. I put it on paper. I strategize. I work for it, and I got it in terms of business. Think of a number in your head. how much do you think it would cost for me, a pretty successful entrepreneur, to coach you every single day, to give you all of the game? I'm talking about every day for an entire year, Monday through Friday. I'm on a virtual call teaching you how I've done the things that I've done, and me updating you every single day in real time on all the business moves that I'm making, all the negotiations that I'm in, everything that I'm doing before I actually do it. How much you think? And let's say Monday through Friday, and then on Thursdays we do a Q&A where not only do you get a chance to ask your questions and get them answered, but you get to hear the answer from a whole community, hundreds of other people on a call, and you get their answers that are going to help you too. What do you think? And once or twice a year, get together, free conference that we all get to come to, and you get to meet all these people that you see virtually. How much do you think that would cost every single year? 10,000? Not even close. It would probably be closer to 100,000, because it's just, my time is valuable, and to give you the sauce that's going to help you make millions, I'd have to charge you at least 100,000. But what I've done is created a community where you get the advantage of learning how to become an entrepreneur. You get to network with hundreds of entrepreneurs every single day. You got a community that keeps you inspired and excited. You will read a book club with us every single day. We'll also have an event where we come together once or twice a year for free. We do all of that for $399 for the year. Go ask somebody. I've got receipts of things that I built over the last decade, okay? I am willing to coach you. $399 for the year. Listen, go to themorningmeetup.com or click the link in this video. Let's get back to the episode, but keep in mind, I want to coach you. Let's get started. I think certain things you can attract, but you're not just going to attract millions of dollars unless you, maybe you can manifest a winning lottery ticket. Maybe.
So what do you think manifestation means? What do you think it means?
Let's look up the definition. And why are you talking so soft today? Let me see.
What do you think it means to manifest?
You do have to talk louder though. Don't she? Is she low?
First of all,
you got a cold?
I am talking the way I always talk. Don't start with me today, because you're about to go down the line of trying to embarrass me.
No, I'm not.
And I will cut you.
Manifestation definition. Clear or obvious to the eye or mind. Okay. Display or show a quality feeling by one's acts, appearance, demonstrate. It's not even a real definition for this word.
To manifest something means...
I don't think the culture created.
To manifest something means to make something happen, to make something certain, right? And I still think you don't understand manifestation. You believe that manifestation is this dream that you can just dream and make it real. You say, oh, I want to raise $100 million, and boom, $100 million happens. It's still faith and work together, right, in order to achieve the result. So to manifest something is simply a system in which you first have a thought that's followed by an intention, or maybe the intention comes before the thought, either way. But you have an intentional thought about something. This is what I would like to accomplish in my life. These are the things that I want to achieve. And then you maybe think on it over and over again. Maybe you write it down. Maybe you're somebody who journals and you're writing it down. And eventually it's like, once you think on an idea long enough, you start to believe it, right? You start to believe that idea. You start to believe that you can have these things.
You can manifest the belief.
No, you have the belief. You create the belief. The belief happens first. So it's not even that. You manifest becoming the person to act on that belief. So you have a thought, I want $100 million. Right now, today, what we have in place, we probably don't have what it takes to get the $100 million, but you've put that thought out there. The intent is to take this $100 million and build a bigger, better clubhouse, right? Now that we've put that out there, now we have to start doing the work. Now we have to start, now the idea is here, just like it was for the clubhouse. The idea is here. We got to get this $100 million, $100 million, $100 million, $100 million. Now what we're going to do is be so intentional in our thoughts that every opportunity, every new relationship, we're going to be looking at, is this person a seed for this goal?
Yes.
And eventually we will begin to attract, because the energy that we're putting out there matches the thought and the desire. Then we start to do the work.
The energy or the activity?
Both.
All right, let me read this. It
Energy
says,
is everything.
a manifestation is the public display or emotion or feeling or something theoretical made real. Mm-hmm. Manifestations' origins are in religion and spirituality because if something spiritual becomes real, it is said to be manifestation. Mm-hmm. So manifestation is a spiritual practice.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely connected because so all of this work that we do is spirit work. When you are believing for something in your life that hasn't happened yet, you have to have some level of spiritual understanding. Like, we don't see God, but we believe in him emphatically. It's spiritual, right? We can feel his presence. We can close our eyes and we can feel like we're talking to him and he's sitting right here. We can feel like he spoke that word directly to us. This is all spiritual work. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience.
If I have a product and you have some money and I use some sales training to sell you on you buying this product, it's not a spiritual situation. It's
I understand. So you're
something.
Connecting a transaction to, you're minimizing it so much, right? So maybe the transaction isn't the spiritual activity, but back up 3 years to you deciding to start that business.
That I can feel. I feel you on that. So, but it takes a lot of work and planning to get certain things in life. First off, I go to Pinky Cole's
Slutty
Vegan release
in New York.
Grand opening in Harlem. First off, before we get there, it's like people around the block, as always, which is crazy. When she has a grand opening, there's so many people there, and I keep forgetting who she is. I'm thinking, oh, well, I'm going to go support Pinky.
Like, she needs it.
You don't need my little support, like.
Keep your little $7 burger.
Oh, my gosh. $15.99.
It's definitely not $7.
But, but it's so amazing to see what she's done. And we go in there, and it's a party. It's literally a party. And she got an MC and a DJ, and it's lit. Everybody's excited. Beautiful environment. And it just seems like she's popping up these slutty vegans everywhere. Here's what I realized. I'm talking to Derek from Big Dave's Cheesesteak.
Her husband.
Yes, her husband. And so he's telling me casually, oh yeah, we got 7 locations now. I remember he had one. There's one downtown.
Big Dave's has 7 locations now.
He got 3 of them in the stadium.
First of all, Pinky and Dave, y'all better be out here being the example. We love it. Y'all clap it up for them real quick.
Yeah. He got 3 of them in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. 3 of them.
3
of them. 3. He said he's the highest grossing restaurant in that stadium. They
all have lines.
He's opening up another one, I think, in Jonesboro. He's like in the building phase of opening in Jonesboro. And I believe that he would not be expanding the way he is if it wasn't for Pinky's expanding the way she is. But on the flip side, I don't think Pinky would be expanding the way she is if it wasn't for Derek expanding the way he is. So like both of them, that activity and that synergy is creating an amazing result.
Do you think that they didn't manifest that?
No, they didn't. She worked hard.
Yeah. What do you think why do you think there's separation? Manifestation, to actually achieve it and make it real, to take this thing that starts out as a spiritual desire, as a goal, as a wish, whatever you want to call it, to make it real, you have to
work for it.
I'm sorry, y'all scared? What we got to do?
Work for it.
We got to work for it. You have to do the work.
You have to work for it.
But what work would they be doing if they didn't first have this inkling to accomplish a thing? Do you think Pinky didn't manifest the man of her dreams? Do you think that her husband didn't manifest the woman of his dreams? Do you think that it's coincidence that they got together and suddenly they both blow up? I remember when Dave was in the gas station.
His name's Derek.
No, Dave's, Big Dave's Cheesesteak.
Yeah, but his name's Derek.
But the business is Dave, all right? I remember when you had to drive all the way up 85 in this, he had a corner in the gas station, a corner, and there were like 2 tables that you could sit at, and people were standing in this establishment. Like, I couldn't believe I was eating gas station food. That's how I felt about it, right? I remember when my best friend took me, my other best friend, took me to Big Dave's Cheesesteak, and we're eating in this gas station, loving the experience. And now he has 7 locations. Now, granted, he met his wife, who had already kind of excelled ahead of him at the time that they met. You don't think that they were both looking for a way to expand and get to their next level? God just delivered it through each other.
Iron doesn't sharpen itself.
It doesn't.
You can't manifest to say, I'm going to be a sharper iron. You need iron to sharpen iron. The fact that they're both, we both have a lot to do with each other's success. It's not necessarily a manifestation. It's just
absolutely
we worked
it's
really,
a manifestation.
really hard.
First of all, we are not going to debate these semantics.
We've
done this.
All right, so let me finish my point because we've been arguing this for like 3 years.
I absolutely manifested you.
Really?
And you absolutely manifested me. Yes.
I manifest you. Don't
yes,
speak for
you
me.
did.
No, I did.
Shan.
No, I did. I don't even like you sometimes.
You like me all the time. It's the problem. Listen, I don't want you guys to take for granted like the big steps, the small steps, any of the accomplishments and achievements that you make as, oh, I only did work. Now, you had a dream first. Like, you had a dream, you thought about it, you knew that you wanted to accomplish something big in your life. And because you were committed to that thought, because you were committed to that intention, you started to align with the doors being opened, the opportunities being presented, the people being put into your life. It's alignment, it's activity, it's energy, it's result. All of that is manifestation.
If there had to be a 51-49% type thing, do opportunities come to people that are ready, or people that are ready go get the opportunities? Because it has to be both. It has to be both. But if you had to lean to one side.
Do opportunities come to people? You got to go get it. You have to go get opportunities. But the thing is, you need a GPS. Like, without first thinking about creating the desire in your mind, you're just shooting darts. You need a GPS. You need a target to hit. So when I decide that we want to make $100 million, we want to seek $100 million investment. Now my eyes are open. Who can help me get here? Who can help us get here? Who do I need to connect you to? What lunch meetings do we need to be sitting down and having? That's how it works. You just think manifestation equals magic, and that's not the truth.
That definition I read seemed like magic.
No.
Can I finish my story? So I go to the restaurant.
He be making me mad, y'all, with this whole like trying to denounce manifestation. Like, our God ain't real. It's manifestation is
God
a spiritual
is
activity. Yes, but go ahead with your
Here
little
we
story.
go with the questions. You got something? Do we have the mic? We have the mic here.
It's right
Let me
here.
finish my story and then hold on. Okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. It's not quick. I know you did it.
When you think about God, like, he spoke everything here into existence, into existence. So
Yes.
I feel like you have to look at it that way. And also, everything takes belief. Like, nothing is just work by itself. It's plenty of people that's just working in this world and broke and have nothing. Or they're working, but they have no belief in the thing that they're working towards.
For sure.
So it's like, you need both.
I would agree you need both. 100%. I'm not debating that you don't need both.
He's debating that doesn't mean manifestation.
Yeah, I think we're debating the definition of manifestation. That's what I think it is, because there isn't really a definition of manifestation.
But you just saw it. It was literally on page. Did you see did you define? Did you look
no,
it up?
but that's not even the dictionary.
A definition? First of all,
this came from vocabulary.com.
That's your source. That's your fault for looking at that.
Find me the definition of manifestation. Listen, if I was going to teach you how to make $1 million, would you give me 10,000? Like, if I had a course teach you how to make $1 million a year, positive, you're going to make $1 million, would you give me 10,000? Of course you would. It's no brainer, right? So in a calendar year, we make 7 figures with the podcast. But there's 21 things that I extracted from that you're going to need to launch a podcast. But I only got time to give you 3 right now. One is you need a distribution platform. The distribution platform is what you upload your podcast to. That platform sends it to Spotify, Apple, Google Play, so that your supporters can actually listen to your podcast. You're also going to need a microphone. You need a really good microphone so it's crispy audio. And 3, you need an income strategy. This is not necessarily a hobby, unless you're going to make it a hobby. But I can teach you how I made the 7 figures with these 21 things. Now, the good news is you don't have to give me 10,000. My ebook is only $37, okay? So listen, go to podcastebook.com. and get the 21 things that you need. And I can explain it in detail, all the things that you need, okay? Podcastebook.com. Let's get to the episode. I think the conversation is
manifest.
Everybody has their
definition, Oxford Dictionary.
Yeah. But I think there's no true definition. Find a definition for me. I was looking.
The thing is, you can't
the
debate
definition.
Facts.
Okay, let me see. This is the definition from
Oxford Dictionary.
An event, action, or object that clearly shows or embodies something, especially a theory or an abstract idea. An event, action, or object that clearly shows or embodies something, especially a theory or an abstract idea. Mm-hmm. Here's an example. The first obvious manifestations of global warming. 2, the action or fact of showing an abstract idea. Mm-hmm. 3, a symptom or sign of an ailment. That's all we got. It's still not clear. I mean, it's up for interpretation, I think.
No, it's not, Chance. Just here's the thing.
That was clear to y'all?
If you don't understand simple words, just say that.
Okay, you explain it. An event.
I can't listen to you because you don't read good. Let me see.
I read great.
You read slow.
I don't spell good. But
you don't spell
I can sound it out. I can say the word sometimes.
Okay. Let's see. What is manifestation? An event, action, or object that clearly shows, meaning it's tangible. I can see it, right?
No, don't add words.
That clearly shows. What does show mean? All I'm doing is further defining.
It doesn't have to be an object. It could be you're drawing a house on paper. You're clearly showing the house.
Action or object. I'm just giving you the definition as these people wrote it down, okay?
Action or object
that
clearly shows
that clearly shows or embodies something.
This is wild.
Especially a theory or an abstract idea. So right now, getting an investment or a number of investments for $100 million is simply an abstract idea.
Yes.
Eventually, there's going to be an event or an action that clearly shows the $100 million. And then there's going to be a building. Thank you so much. Y'all clap that up for me real quick.
Hey, stop that. All right. Cut it out. And I forgot my point of the story. Is going to help somebody with something. Go ahead, Ashawn. This for sure ain't going to be quick. You know he got to get his bars off.
Make it real snappy.
Yeah. When you said, oh God, wow.
How many voice? You going through puberty?
How old are you?
Right. Yeah, get it together.
But so when you said feeling, attitude, quality, or an event could be something happening to you. So it could be, it's not necessarily, manifestation isn't talking about you doing something. It's about something coming to you. So
give him a round of applause. Y'all gonna clap for this boy.
Why would you cut him off like that?
No,
He's trying
to
play you.
He was going somewhere. No, he's agreeing with me. Go for it.
So
you are agreeing with me, right?
So you're right. Show something, right? But it's talking about like an abstract idea, attitude, quality, or feelings. So all of that stuff is psychological, or it's something that might be tangible, but it's more so coming towards you based on who you are as a person, not necessarily based on what you do. So manifestation is talking about internal, not external.
There's definitely a significant part to that. First of all, you give this man a podcast. Now he's a philosopher.
Nah, that was good though.
Okay.
Give him a round of applause. That was good. Yeah. That was good.
So you're absolutely right. So here's the thing. Most of the time, the things that you want, you don't have yet because you have to become something. You have to become qualified to get those things. So the whole act of manifesting something, again, is having an idea and then figuring out who you need to become in order to attract the result, right? So you're absolutely right. It's not about just, let me get this investor. We got to put a presentation together. 100%. There has to be a kit together. There has to be a posture together. We can't just roll up like we're looking for $100 million. Yeah, for sure. Let's sit down and have lunch. That's not how it works. So it's absolutely about becoming, right? And that's why we're constantly evolving. That's why anytime something big for you, or anytime you are desiring something big, anybody ever been in a process where like your dreams are so big right now, you don't know how you're going to attain them, and it kind of hurts? Like it's hard to deal with the fact that you have this dream inside of you and you just don't know how to execute it. It hurts. It's painful. Anytime major change is to come into your life, you're also going to experience some form of major pain. It's just how it is. That's why there's a thing called growing pains. So when you're in the process of manifestation, you are absolutely growing. There's some pain associated. Pain can look like no's. Pain can look like delay. Pain can look like procrastination. It can look like a bunch of things, but you have to grow and evolve. What's funny?
The mic. Yo, real quick. Here's a question. Okay, so I know to build a house, you have to like lay a floor, wall, ceiling, roof, stuff like that. What is the action of manifestation? Yeah, on that mic real quick.
So I know that like a few people were saying that manifestation is physical, but you said like you can't just manifest $1 million.
Correct.
You have to work for it. So I feel like work is the physical action of manifestation. It's just like praying. I can pray to become a millionaire. I can pray to God all I want, but he's not going to make it happen for me if, like you said, become the person that you need to be to receive that, but also going out to doing that work and attracting it in that way. You
know what scarred me probably in this whole process? No lie, I was in college with Alabama A&M. It was a young lady. She was like the computer attendant. You know what I'm talking about? Like there's always like a person in there. Or maybe y'all too young.
The computer attendant?
You know the person in the computer room.
A computer attendant.
She's like the librarian for the computer room.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. So she's in there and we're all talking about, what we're going to do after school, after college, all that kind of stuff. And she sat right there, looked me in my face and said, I'm going to hit the lottery and I'm going to be a millionaire. And I said, well, what if that doesn't work? And she says, it will work. I'm manifesting it. I said, well, you're in college, you're getting your degree, right? So what are you going to do with your degree? She said, probably nothing, because I'm hitting this lottery. I'm manifesting it. Ever since that conversation, I thought that was the stupidest thing in the world. However, there's somebody watching this right now that's saying that's real. And if you want it bad enough and you think hard enough and you pray hard enough, you can attract that kind of stuff, especially with the law of attraction and The Secret. When that came out, people took that so far left and I was scarred. So anytime I hear the word manifestation is triggering and I start thinking about this person whose whole business plan, whole life journey was based on manifesting
what was that word you just said? Manifestating. I'm sure that's not it.
That's not a word?
Manifestating.
Manifestating.
That
does sound crazy.
We're manifesting or it's manifestation, but we're definitely not manifestating. Bob Proctor even came back after The Secret and said that he felt like they put the idea of manifestation out or of belief out and manifesting a thing out. What's the word? When something incompletely.
Yeah,
like
right.
it wasn't a complete thought. It was a lot of believe, and these things shall come, but they didn't put a lot of emphasis on the word.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, yo.
But that's not they don't define the definition.
They created the whole movement.
No, they created the movement of the law of attraction,
which was manifestation.
Okay, David, move on.
We'll talk about something else. Okay. All right. Back to my journey of New York. So I'm there and I realize how amazing Pinky is and what a visionary. And I was actually in the airport right now this morning and I was talking to her team with Dora and she was saying that her whole objective is to have power, not to become wealthy, rich, all that kind of stuff.
This is Pinky?
Is Pinky. Mm-hmm. She's like, yo, the thing she's talking about is having power, but not for self-interest reason, but I want to have the power to change a law. I want to have a power to implement certain programs in school. She's like, yo, we're building two brands, her Slutty Vegan brand and the Pinky Cole brand, and they both work in tandem, right? Mm-hmm. Tandem?
That's correct. Good job. Give it up
for Dave. They both work in tandem. And she's like, yo, I want to have more power to affect change, which I thought was super cool. And I don't think, for me personally, this is like me personally, I don't think I was looking at it that way or until today. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yo, we got to build a platform, not just so we can help people, but so that the brand is powerful to shift something, to be able to make something happen in a meaningful way for a community. We all talk about we want to help the community, but in essence, I would say most people, including maybe myself, when we start talking about building a community, it's self-interest reasons. Like, I want to build a community because I want to help people, but I like the feeling of helping people. So it's somewhat a selfish reason. I like that I can help you do something, you become successful, you come back and say, yo, you helped me. That makes me feel good. It's not about the dollar exchange. It's about me wanting to have the feeling of helping people.
So your motivating force for building community right now is to support your ego?
Once I talked to Dora about Pinky's objective, I realized how selfish it was. So people who give can still be selfish. You give because you like the feeling of giving. It doesn't matter who you give to. It's just, yo, I gave and I can go home and sleep at night because I know I'm a good person and I gave. However, I immediately started thinking about someone like a Martin Luther King, who said, I'm going to do all this stuff, but it's a high possibility that I'll never be able to see or enjoy the fruits of my labor right now. I'm willing to put my life on the line. I made my mission to have enough power, have enough influence so that not me and my friends can enjoy this, but my kids and my kids' kids can enjoy certain freedoms that I'm willing to give my life for.
Do you have anything right now that you believe you're involved in outside of family that you would lay your life down for?
No. Nope. You?
Can't say that I do.
I'm not woke enough.
I'm not woke enough. I can't say that I do. I mean, obviously, I would lay my life down. I would jump in front of a bullet for my mother and my 100%. Daughter. Period. Like, easily. No questions asked. I'm busting back first, but if I got to take the bullet, you know what I mean? We doing it. Yeah. But there is no mission that I desire to accomplish so strongly that I would die for it. Does that make us terrible people?
No, I think it's just we're in the world. We now, I think it's just the progression of the world. Back in the day, there were, especially in like the time of Jesus, the apostles and people that he walked with they knew willingly, I would have to give my life for this belief because it's illegal to believe in this thing, right? And then moving forward, they're still like in the Inquisition, or there were people in the time of Constantine where if you were a certain religion, you would die.
Yep.
You would have to die.
That happens today.
For sure, but it's not as I mean, you live in a Muslim country, or you live in like China. China, you can't be Christian. You know what I mean? Like, it's over. 100%. But they're dying by mistake. It's not like they on a platform saying, "Hey, y'all gotta believe." It's like somebody finds out. Like, it's people that are like gathering in secret because they don't want to lose their lives. It's just we're in a different time frame. So we go from that time where people are martyred for their belief, right? And then we move forward to maybe like a couple of decades ago where, okay, I'm willing to go to jail. I'm willing to like fight for my right, like a Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, but it was a significantly less amount of people who was willing to do that. Yeah. Now we on the gram and we lit. We got things to live for. Back then it wasn't, I mean, look at how they were treating black people, right? What am I living here for? Mm-hmm. So of course I'm willing, I would rather die than be in this situation, but it's harder now because we have a better situation that we don't necessarily have to die for.
I can't think of any world leader in the United States that are speaking for us as a culture and civil rights and things like that. I can't think of a single person that I believe has a mission so strong that they would literally die for it.
Nobody. It's just changing times. Nothing wrong with it. It's just the times are different.
pretty soon we're going to be having war via the internet, not like
people are getting killed online every day, like with pulling up old tweets.
So, you know,
kill your little brand.
Kill your little brand. It's a major war out here being canceled and all these other things. I mean, there really are internet wars that are happening. I'm interested to know where you were going with this conversation, though.
I don't remember. Years ago, though, like when's the last time you heard someone say they were willing to fight for their country? People go to the Army and the Navy because they get a bonus and I ain't got nothing else to do, or like I want some structure or something. But it's not like people have the pride that they used to have. Like, yo, I'm willing to go fight for my country. Ain't nobody fighting for their country.
Anybody in here fighting for the country? Any of y'all fighting for the country?
Yeah, well, not this country for sure. But and again, maybe, you know, in other parts of the world, like you're saying. But anyway, I forgot where I was going. What were we talking about? No, I was talking about it on Instagram earlier. Oh no, I did talk about that. Okay, I don't know.
Yo, what's going on with you today? Is everything okay?
I'm delirious. I went to yesterday morning. I flew into New York, went to Slutty Vegan Grand Opening, kicked it with DeJuan, then went to Angela Yee's event, got on a flight this morning. I slept for 2.5 hours, got on a flight, slept for those 2 hours on the plane, came straight here, and now we're here. And I got mad stuff to do today.
Yeah, get it together. I mean, that's the life you signed up for.
Yeah.
I don't want to really hear any excuses.
Eddie Murphy performed in that same outfit you got on.
Shut up!
Do y'all remember? Which one was it? Delirious or Raw?
It was which one?
Raw.
So you co-signing this? You saw the visual in your head?
I'm not saying it's not a nice outfit.
It is, and we know that we're considering thumbnails right now.
Yes. Okay.
Got to give views.
All right. Any lessons from this week that you learned?
Yeah. So I was talking to, I've been talking to a lot of people lately who are still kind of in that mode. They're so confused about where their next move should be in life that they are still, I'm still attracting a lot of people who are depressed. And I think it's because I shared my journey of depression last year and going through that journey with everybody that now y'all are comfortable talking to me about depression, right?
You manifested the people?
I manifested these people. They saw. So one thing about me
Why'd you
and
manifest these people?
Let me talk. Okay, that's what we're gonna do right now.
Why would you manifest?
Let me just
depression?
Because I overcame it. I overcame depression, and I manifested people who need to see a real life example of what overcoming looks like.
I'm sorry, can I ask a question? I want you to go. I want you to keep going.
You can ask a question.
Put your finger down.
Something in my eye. I'm sorry.
So did you start with saying, yo, I want to attract depressed people? Was that the beginning of the manifestation?
So the manifestation is something that I say every single day, usually in the shower, and it's God use me for whomever you see fit for me to use me right now, right? And so my brand and my whole life really is attached to, I used to do this for me. I used to do this. I used to build and chase dreams to make sure first I could survive and not have to work. That was like first. Like I never want to work in corporate America again. First. Second was to provide a life for my mother and my daughter. Done. Right. Now I realize, remember last year I went through a series of just, I'm not feeling it. I didn't know what was causing this depression. And it was because I realized that I was still serving myself. And my purpose is to serve other people. And if you're purpose driven like me and like you know that it can't just be about you. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than your cousins, your aunties, your grandparents, all of that. You have to leverage your success in a way that serves people in a grand way, right? And so I got back to that. My point in talking about, you were asking about my lesson for the week, I've still been attracting a lot of you guys who are suffering and struggling with depression. And I just want to give you a little bit of encouragement. You guys know that I'm a wordsmith and I love to break words down. And it just came to me this morning, really. If you write down the word depression, you can't see it here. If you write down the word depression, just do it in your phone really quick. Write down the word depression and you're experiencing this. If you're watching this on camera, I want you to write it down on paper. And I want you to look at depression a little differently, because you're looking at me and saying, Donni, I'm so depressed. I don't know what to do. I want to quit. I want to give up. When I was struggling with depression last year, I never wanted to quit. I never wanted to get up. I wanted to get past it. I wanted to figure out how to get on the other side of it. There's never been a moment that I ever wanted to quit. And I need you to understand that that's the only difference between you and I. Now, if you look at the word depression and we do word scramble and we choose to use this word, our situation right now, to create our solution, guys, your solution is always hidden in the situation. Okay? You take the words out. We're going to start with the letter I. Write the letter I.
Let me do this. You don't need to do it too?
Nope, because I got it. It's in my head.
That's good.
We got the word depression written out. We're going to scramble these letters. We're going to start with the word I. Next word, put a space in between it. We're on. Next letter is P. Same word. Next letter is R. E. S. S. E. D. Next word, O. N. What does that say? I pressed on. Your solution is always hidden in your situation, right? Even down to the word saw. Right now, many of you are seeing your own circumstances for what they are. You see the lack, you see the house you don't like, you see the car you don't want to drive, you see the money, the situation that you're in, you don't want to be there. You saw it. If you reverse that word, and that word it ends up being was. When you look at yourself and who I am right now, I had to become. Who was Donni Wiggins? Who did she have to become to change what she saw? If you are struggling with depression right now, I want you to not think about, I'm stuck here. I can't get out of this. I can't get out of bed every single day. That's the difference between me and you. It takes a certain level of strength and it takes a certain level of belief to know that I'm in this situation right now, but I pressed on. Your solution is hidden right here in your situation. You want better money? You want a new house? You want a new car? You want a new opportunity? It's all, you got the answers. You have everything that you need right now. God has already revealed it to you, but you hadn't recognized it because you're so stuck in what is actually happening right now.
That was hard. That was hard. All right, so now I want you to write down the word smile. Copy and paste the I in the beginning. And then in front of that, it said, now you see I smile.
You don't, though. You don't. You don't.
You just got to copy and paste it. Don't delete it. You just got
don't.
to copy it.
Listen, you guys, words are spells.
They are.
Words are spells. Literally, every word that you speak. This is why I'm always telling you guys it's so important. Affirmations are powerful because words are nothing more than spells that you are casting over your life. You're literally speaking your circumstances into existence. Because you
spell words.
You better.
Caught that. You spell words.
Spell words. And that's why it's called spelling. Like early on in primary education, you take spelling class. You have spelling lessons. Words are we spell words. We cast spells. We cast spells every day through our words. So you think you're saying things when you're responding to something funny and say, "Oh my God, I'm a die." Shut up. Stop saying that. You think it's funny when you're telling people like, "Oh my God, I hate this so much. I hate you so much." Like, stop talking like that, because these little things that you think that you're doing that are trendy and funny and cool, you are literally speaking life or death into your own circumstances.
That was so good.
Okay,
were you saying something? Were you about to say something? Or you just...
Okay, Yanni, with the light voice. Let's
Yanni's
get it.
here. Come on, Boots.
I was just saying that the Bible says that there's life and death in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. So.
This is deep. I don't think we talked about business at all.
We did.
Did we? Okay.
We absolutely did. Okay. Today is the 8th day of the month.
Is it?
And it's...
Why would you?
Yeah, it is, right? Oh, you're right. Okay, so let's just assume that today is the 8th day of the month. But today really is the 8th day of the month. And I woke up with this energy that was so profound. Like, today we're prolific. I am anyway. I don't know what you got going on.
Prolific.
I woke up today with a different energy. And I looked at the calendar. I realized today is the 8th day of the month. Do you guys know what the number 8 means spiritually or symbolically? No. So the number 8 is means new beginnings.
I'm sorry, real quick. I just got to know. So who created that? Who decided that 8 means new beginnings?
Okay. So the number 8 means new beginnings, right? And there, go ahead.
I'm going to look up the
Shans.
definition of 8. Go where you're going.
The number 8 means new beginnings. And today we talked a lot about change and the process that you go through in order to get change. And I just really feel it in my spirit that we're on the verge of a breakthrough. We're on the verge of a breakthrough. You have to start looking at situations for what you want them to be and not for what they actually are. Anybody in this room, who in here is like on the verge, you need something to change in your life right now? Yes. You're literally on your way. If I am you today, and this is also something that I will do later today because I am very, very spiritually connected. Today, as I recognize this and I woke up with this energy, I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe God woke me up out of bed and I went into like praise, right? Just like, why do I feel this energy today? But I realized it's a number of new beginnings. We just had a full moon. Like there's a whole lot of things that are happening in our world. I know you leave me alone.
For it. Go
but what I intend to do today is take advantage of this on the 8th day of the month and the 8th day of any month, right? And write out your intentions very, very clear. Very, very clear. Very, very clear. Not I need more money. How much? Not I want a new home. What zip code? What does it look like? How many bedrooms do you need to accommodate you? Like get really, 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 really deep on this. I'm serious, guys. I strongly believe that is how I built any ounce of success that I've ever had. I knew very early on that I wanted to be a 7-figure earner. How do I do that? Well, collaborations. Using my gifts. I identified that I have a gift of communication. How do I use my voice? God, please reveal to me how I use my voice. And I'm running from this. I'm going live on Instagram and Facebook every single day, not realizing that this ability to use my voice in this way will ultimately be the piece that sets me free, right? Well, God, I get it, but I know how to use my voice, but I need more exposure. I need people who believe in me and who support me because I didn't really get that support from my friends. I didn't really get that support from my family. Introduce me to people. I meet Dave, right? Now, y'all know in the beginning I was Dave's like mentor, right?
I don't know if I'll go that far.
I was definitely Dave's mentor. He definitely saw the cool kid in the room, was like, how can I learn from her? Anyway, and then I realized he kind of knew a thing or two on his own. But then, you start meeting people who, and we started, y'all, for you guys that don't know, we started across the street at the E-Complex holding workshops with like 20 people, yep. 40 people, 6 people, I think was like 2017. Yep. We started like doing these entrepreneur exchange workshops. You pay $20 to get in, and we literally gave it everything we
20.
had.
It might have been a 10-piece.
It might have been $10. Yeah. I think they were free at first. Yeah. Just come. Yeah. Just come, right? And we got people in the room. All we need you to do is come. And David and I have been figuring it out now. I think that's like, 6 years later? We've been figuring it out piece by piece. We both have our own individual brands, but it wasn't really until we came together and we just brainstormed and masterminded and brainstormed. How are we going to get this money? How are we going to do this? How are we going to build community? How are we going to impact people in this way? David has been here since 2014. It didn't begin to really evolve until 2017. Mm-hmm. So everything that's happening in your life right now is adding up. It's adding up. Appreciate the part of the process that you're in right now, but don't overlook the solution that's currently hiding in your situation. You got it. I promise you got it. I promise you got it. It's right there. You got to get quiet for a minute. You need to take a day just to sit in solitude and just get quiet and just start writing it out. Write out what you got access to. Write out what you need access to. When you start thinking about, here's what I need access to, write down, do I have anything? Who do I know who can help me get access to this? Do I have any piece of this puzzle already? And you will be surprised at how the answers just start to reveal themselves. You got it. 100%. I believe in y'all.
And I think this really is going to help. I looked up the definition of 8.
Why, Shans? Why?
Because we say stuff like 8 is the number of new beginnings. I just want to know where it came. So we're just looking stuff up. Equivalent to the product of 2 and 4, 1 more than 7, or 2 less than 10. It's the definition of it. I don't know where people get this stuff from, man, but it's really, really dope. But yes, you can have anything in life you want, but I think one of the major things that people do miss is the time it takes to think. It's so hard to figure something out. Mm-hmm. So if I ask a question, typically in like a workshop, I'm not the person who just gives answers. I'll kind of challenge you, right? Because I want you to think. But someone will say, well, yo, Dave, I got this food truck business. How can I grow it? And my answer is typically, well, how do you think you can grow it? And they say, well, I don't know. That really tells me you have not thought at all about how to grow. You're just looking for an answer from somebody else. You've never thought about it. Like you never put it on paper. You never strategized. Everything that we've had, we strategized it. We put it on paper and we planned it and whiteboarded it. What's crazy is I'm somewhat of a hypocrite now because I was just talking to Dora on the way here, and they do like management of people. It's a whole full service suite. Shouts out to Whitley Agency, and she said, "Well, what do you need?" And because I was just kind of explaining how I pretty much do everything myself. This is a booking or something like that. Kate takes it. It's incoming. I'll tell her what to say back. She says it back. Or if there's an opportunity, I go get the opportunity. I'm not used to having a team that goes to do that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And she said, well, what is it that you want? And I give an answer, but it wasn't like, let's say, for instance, I want to get on national TV. Well, I haven't come up with a plan. I haven't like really figured out how I can get this thing done, but I'm positive if I did, I'd figure it out and I'd start asking different questions. When we start talking about raising 100 million, putting down on paper, like now I'm just asking people certain questions, and it's the quality of the question will dictate the quality of the answer. Mm-hmm. But if I say, well, how do I raise 100 million? They'll give me an answer. But if I say, well, I've been researching these 3 different ways of raising, there's like this is a strategy that I'm thinking of that I want to create. Then I can ask somebody who raised us, say, well, here's a way you can do that strategy, but I have something better for you. But it will improve the answers that I get. Mm-hmm. So anything we want, we are going to have to create a plan and spend some time thinking. As much time as we think, maybe there are people that spend time praying and manifesting, which you should, right? But let's also like open our eyes and let's spend the same amount of time planning out how we can go get it. And I think when you start that activity, things do start to come.
Thank you. You just...
Give me a round of applause. That was good.
It was good. Anybody in here got a question specific to their business? You're stuck on something. You need some feedback.
Specific questioning.
Specific questions. Y'all
scared?
Good?
Oh, so y'all lit.
Y'all lit?
Y'all good? All right, let's do it. Yeah, go for it.
So we are going on the 20th episode of our podcast, and we're trying to figure out how to gain more engagement. But also,
you're going on the what?
Like get more engagement in our podcast.
And you're on the 20th episode.
20th.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So like we recently did an episode where we were talking about like being adopted. So
both of y'all were adopted?
Well, she was. She
was
sharing her story with her sister. But essentially, like we got more engagement in that episode than we typically get in others. And I feel like it's because it connected with people. Mm-hmm. So, but we're still having a trouble getting over that threshold of just getting that engagement.
What's the threshold?
Still super low. I'm kind of embarrassed to say, but we're getting like 100 views a day on that particular episode.
And what do you do to promote it?
Social media.
That's not an answer.
So like Instagram, like pushing
still not an
ads,
answer.
Things of that nature.
What do you do? I said, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
And that's like saying, yo, what do you do to make money? And you say tree. Yes, tree comes from money. I get the connection kind of, but I'm saying, what do you do to promote it?
So making like short form content of it, sharing the short form content of it on different platforms. So that way, like the catchier parts of it. How many?
Yeah.
I would say maybe 30 or 40. We post them, I would say, 3 times a day.
You post 3 times a day on the page?
Mm-hmm.
What's the page?
It's Our Minds Podcast, Our Minds Lifestyle Podcast, OML for short.
Our Minds Lifestyle Podcast. Our Minds Lifestyle Podcast.
Yes.
I don't see it. Y'all see it? Am I tripping? It's on Instagram?
Is it Minds with an S?
Yes.
Our OUR Minds Lifestyle Podcast. Okay.
Podcast is in there too?
Our Mind Lifestyle.
Okay.
First off, let's figure out how to say it. Okay.
All right.
All right. So, oh wow, it's crazy. My man really is lying to me.
He is. I'm like, okay. Because I don't
Didn't
see
he
a
tell?
post for 6
Hold on.
days.
Was y'all there when he said he posted 3 times a day?
Story.
Was y'all there? Because I know I'm not tripping.
So we have multiple Instagram accounts. So
Well,
I have a
the
higher
one you're
following
telling me,
Instagram.
you posted 6 days ago. The
then
last
before
post was
that-
6 days ago.
January 16th.
Was y'all there when he said?
Were we all in the same room having the same
I know he
conversation?
said 3. He said 3 a day, or he said 3 a week. What did he say?
3 a quarter. This is quarterly activity. This is what.
Quarterly activity.
All right. So right away.
Okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Okay, what are your personal Instagrams? Let's see.
So my personal Instagram is Ethan.Bell.
Spell it.
BELLE.
Spell it.
ETHAN.
ETHAN. You gotta slow down because Donnie kind of slow. Ethan what?
.BELLE.
.BELLE.
Yes. And to clarify, when I said I posted 3 times a day, we have multiple Instagram accounts. I have more of a following on my personal Instagram, just of people that I met. So I post more on that story.
Wow.
So let me ask you a question, and this, I mean, no disrespect, but you know what happens when people say that, right?
She's intentionally about to disrespect you. That's crazy.
I just want to understand the logic behind your goal being to grow this podcast, this business. Is your podcast a business or is it a hobby?
It's turning into a business.
Okay, so is it a business or is it a
It's a
hobby?
business.
Okay, so I want to understand the logic behind you marketing your business primarily on your stories in a way that disappears over time. You have disappearing marketing. What sense does that make exactly?
When you put it like that, it doesn't.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure. So a couple of things. One, you're going to, when you have a page, you're starting a business page, you don't have a whole lot of followers. So on the Full Transparency with Donni social media page, we don't have a whole lot of followers. Do you think it's smart for me to solely rely on the Full Transparency page with Donni with hardly any followers to market? Or should I leverage the page where I have tens of thousands of followers to market my business?
The page where you have tens of thousands of followers.
And do you think A or B, I should post on my stories where people may or may not see it? And if they don't see it in 24 hours, they won't see it at all. Or should I post on my news feed where it will be there for eternity?
Right, the newsfeed.
Okay, should post on my newsfeed. Yeah. And then do you think by looking at the information that you are posting on Instagram, it would be more beneficial for me to post my lifestyle or for me to have clear evidence that I'm a podcast business owner?
Clear podcast evidence.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just another question. Do you think that it gives any value to your content posting with your car, to your podcast posting with your car? Or do you think it might give you more value to post, I don't know, maybe a clip from the podcast?
Right, clips from the podcast.
So tell me how you're going to get more engagement.
So I would start by posting more like Reels content that actually saves so I can continue to like post them. I would say recycle them because I can keep posting them. And then also putting more like podcast shorts on the actual.
So I want you today to tell me 3 things that you're going to do on social media specifically to draw more engagement to your podcast.
Okay. Right now?
Right now.
All right. So the first thing I would do is I would say clean up my personal social media because, like you said, if you can't go through the first 3 posts and see what I actually do, then it confuses people, and people don't know the podcast exists.
Yeah.
The second thing that I would do would I would actually take more shorts and post them to my actual pages, also different platforms as well. The third thing that I would do is I'm learning social media marketing, so like Google ads and things of that nature, and Facebook ads and YouTube ads. So those would probably be the 3 things that I would capitalize.
So let me say this to you. Right now, you guys don't need to be running any ads, because your ads are only going to magnify what you are already doing organically, which is a pretty bad job when it comes to marketing your podcast. Your podcast might be great, but we'll never know because your marketing is trash, right? So I would not recommend that you even start to think about ads. But there are a couple of things that you can do right away. So when we're talking about your social media page, I'm looking at your personal page and you don't even mention the podcast. I click your link. You're a music producer. There's nothing that tells me that you and your wife have a podcast. So you need to add that to your links. And what you guys need to do right now, you're 20 episodes in with 76 followers on your podcast page. You might agree. I think you just need to focus on podcasting and letting people know that you have a podcast, making sure it's in the link. How do you find it? Talk about it. Put it on your news feed, maybe go live. We used to, when we were doing Social Proof in the beginning, remember we used to put our phones up on the tripod and we go live on Instagram for a few minutes so that people could get really engaged with the conversation, and we just cut it off. Like, you got to watch the podcast to get the rest.
We should get back to that.
We should do it.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What you do in the beginning to grow, you should do it to sustain too.
Right.
But anyway, you're not ready for ads. I wouldn't be looking for any like key strategies in terms of engagement because you don't have a whole lot to show. Get really good and really consistent at putting out podcasts. Let me see that I need to come to your page, and you're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to make a decision. Am I leading with the fact that I'm a music producer, or am I leading with the fact that me and my wife are building our 6 or 7 figure podcast?
Right.
And go all in.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go. Are you done?
Yeah.
So I think maybe like even the biggest problem is you are like lying, and you've lied to me, and you said you post 3 times a day on multiple platforms, and I found that not to be true. Not even in the stories. You don't have 3 posts in your stories. You got some reposts of some stuff, but you posted a thing that you posted on the page. And you posted that in your stories, the thing you posted 3 days ago. But then I go to your personal page and your business page, and I don't see 3 posts total per day.
Yeah, my intention wasn't to lie. So when I post the reels,
I understand. I understand your intention isn't to lie, but you are lying. And you're lying to yourself. Because if you're telling me, oh, well, I'm posting 3 times a day and that's the strategy, somehow you feel like you've done all that you know how to do to become successful on your own without any questions. You haven't. Like, you need to tell yourself, I don't even know why I'm asking this question. How am I growing? Because I'm not doing anything to grow it at all, period. Like, you're not doing anything to grow it. It's not like you're trying. Do you think you're trying? Nah.
I mean, we've been filming quite a few episodes.
I'm not filming the podcast is one thing, but getting other people to watch it is another thing.
Right.
You said you felt like you reached a lid.
Ooh.
You reached a lid.
You said a threshold for sure.
A threshold.
Yes.
You reached a
Definitely set a
threshold. For one, who set the threshold? Was you saying, we got to get to 100 and I just can't get past 100? It looked like you put it out there and you're like, all right, well, I put it on YouTube. I'm going to let YouTube work. I'm going to make a post every few days on Instagram. And the threshold is now 100 based on that activity.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything at all to grow it. How many times a day do we post on Social Proof Podcast? 3 times a day. And grab the mic real quick. How did we get to 3 times a day? And I want you to be honest. How did we get to 3 times a day?
I think I missed like 2 days out of the week.
I was furious. And I didn't let her know it because she's Yanni. I don't want to yell at Yanni. I said, I looked at the page and a couple days were missed. And I said, Yanni, why is this happening? And she gave me some answer, and I said, Yanni, I don't know how I feel about this. That was my furious. Yanni, I don't know how I feel about this. Furious. Because how are we gonna grow if we're not posting something every day? On YouTube, we have 2 shorts every day on YouTube. Every day on YouTube, we're posting shorts. 2 shorts on Facebook every day, including whatever she's posting on Social Proof Podcast goes. So it's 5 shorts on Facebook every day. Every day. I'm posting something about Social Proof every day. Like if y'all don't want to grow, just say that. Like if you don't want to do the work, say that. You don't need no strategy. You don't have no, it's not even a question of, okay, what do I need to grow? You know the basics. Without me telling you, you know you need to tell somebody about your podcast, right? Absolutely. Why are we not telling people about what we do? Period. We're lying to ourselves. We think we need help. You don't even need no help right now. I think everybody can make their first 6 figures by themselves with no training, no coaching, pure work. And manifestation.
And manifestation. Anybody else? One more question. 2 more maybe.
I'm not even done ranting. I got a lot to say about that.
First of all, no, because it doesn't even, at that level of activity, it doesn't even deserve this much shine. What I want you to do is 7 days of consistent work. 7 days.
30.
Well.
30. You want to build something special? 30.
A year.
If you can't do 30, you don't deserve to be successful. If we're not going to be out here every day, you do not deserve to be sick. Let me tell you my first plan. And the reason I'm spending so much time is because there's a lot of people that deal with this. Mm-hmm. And you know, when we do like Q&A, people are like, yo, okay, what do you think I should do? And you dig into what they're doing, you give them a strategy, but you're not doing anything at all.
You're not doing anything.
My first objective on my exit to leave my job was to make $100 on each off day. So I work 5 days a week on my job, 2 days a week on my business. And I didn't even try to fool myself into thinking that I'm going to work hard every day. I did say I need to come up with a strategy. These 2 days, I'm going to go sell $100 worth of t-shirts on these off days, period. That's my strategy. That's my whole plan. I'd rather that plan than sporadic, okay, I'm going to try to work hard today, than not. It was 2 days specifically. I have a goal and I started getting that goal. Then I took a 3rd day off and I started hitting $100 on all 3 days. And that was my strategy. That's how I transitioned out of my job. Eventually, by the time I quit, I wasn't even working many days on my job because I had so much activity outside of my job in my clothing brand that I'm like, well, they're not going to miss me if I'm going anyway because I'm coming into the job sporadically. But at least I had a plan. And guess what? Nobody had to coach me into that. Nobody had to give me a strategy. Nobody had to give me a plan. I'm saying I got to go eat. I set a number and I got to go get to the number. So you need to figure out, how do I get to 1,000 downloads a month or whatever it is, and then start trying a bunch of activity. Because we're not in your space, we're not in your situation. We don't know what's going on with you. We don't know what your gift is. But the only way I can give you an answer, but that might not be the best answer for your particular situation, your particular circumstance, your particular gift. The only way you find that is you get out there. And I want you to figure out what that activity, do something consistently. Okay? Good. Okay. Okay.
I want to know for both of y'all, what's the biggest person that y'all, or biggest name that y'all want to work with that really isn't in your circle of influence? Like you have no relationship with them, like whether it's as a client or that you would want to get on a podcast. Who's like the biggest person?
Grant Cardone, baby. I'm just playing.
Yo, my reflex was about to reflex.
No, you have somebody? I got a bunch. Oprah for sure. Mm-hmm. And you can literally look around this room and it'll give you my answer.
Yeah.
Just look around.
In addition to that, for me though, I really, really want to work with Sarah Jakes. Okay. Yeah. I would love to interview her. I would love to speak at an event that she's speaking at. Yeah. I'm actually manifesting that she will be on one of my challenges.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. She will be. I'm sure of it. Because it's just an agreement. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of finding her people, contacting them, clearing the date, paying her fee, making it happen. Sarah Jakes, I'm coming for you, girl. Coming for you.
I love it.
If y'all don't have relationships with these people, like what would be y'all's plan to be able to even get that opportunity to work with them? I want to work with Beyonce. So that's what I'm asking. Like, what would y'all do to work with a person who you don't have a relationship, but they already have like such a big name?
Here's my philosophy, and maybe Donni may have a different one. All of these people on this wall, I don't have a plan for connecting with them. Okay. I do have a plan for being the biggest in the space, and they will come. Like, you can't ignore, like, all these people are like podcasters. Angie Martinez. I really want to meet Angie Martinez. But when my podcast gets big enough, you can't ignore it. She's probably seen it. She's like seen it. So we're going to ask her to speak at the podcast summit. And a lot of that stuff is just finding who books them and pay their fee. Just
pay them their money. So a couple of things. So many people are just so attached to, I keep my things. I don't speak on it until it happens. I'm the person that doesn't like to speak on it until it happens. Well, sometimes you are doing yourself a major disservice. Sometimes it's simply speaking on it that opens the door for the opportunity. You say, I want to work with Beyonce. There could be somebody in the room connected to her, right? I got Michelle Williams in my DMs right now that we're planning to get on the podcast. Maybe one day you're sitting here while Michelle is here. We didn't know that. So I could never even go in that direction, right? Also, pay people their money. Like, let's not wait for the happenstance chance that you're going to bump into them and be in their space and, things like that. Just find out who conducts their business, who manages their business, pay them. Where do I send Beyonce samples? Where do I send her a lookbook? How can I because you'll probably, even dressing Beyonce, never work with Beyonce. You're going to work with whoever her stylists are, right? So look for those people and pay them their monies.
Yeah, man. Let's wrap this thing. You know what you need?
Tell me what I need, David.
Those new boots that came out.
Which ones? Oh, those red boots. First of all,
I kind of like them joints. I think this.
You think it would have completed the look? Would it have completed the look today? Y'all like my outfit?
I think so.
Yeah. No. Don't gas me up if you ain't believing it. Do y'all like my outfit? Who does not like my outfit? Are you?
I don't like it.
Why you're dressed like a Smurf?
It's not that I don't like it. It's not that I don't like it.
You're dressed like a Smurf.
Y'all
did you say you didn't like my outfit? We're dressed alike.
Nah, y'all should do a video together.
We're dressed alike. Hey. Tap him.
No, listen.
When I said, did you like my outfit? You went.
Y'all let my brother.
Okay.
It's not. No, I don't not like y'all. I think it's fly. It just reminds me of certain things.
It reminds you of Prince. So I was going for. First of all, I bought this outfit intentionally. I knew that I was wearing it on the podcast. This is a podcast outfit. I don't know that I will wear this just to be out and about.
It's a nice outfit.
Oh, it is. First of all, funny. It's me we're talking about. It's a nice outfit, guaranteed. All right. I'm just telling you that I have podcast wardrobe and then I have in the streets wardrobe.
You don't have to explain yourself. It's a nice outfit.
David.
Do you feel away?
No, I don't feel away.
Good.
But you definitely been on my outfit all day. And you guys, I want you to show your lack of appreciation for it in the comments by attacking him.
No, I'm not. I said it's two people remind me of Michael Jackson, Thriller, and Eddie Murphy. I was just saying it was
Listen, I think it's fair because you remind me of a summer camp counselor every day.
And that's okay. That's the look I'm going for.
That's the look you're going for because you're afraid to grow up.
I want to be the cool, relatable adult for kids.
You are not. The adult for kids, relatable adult for kids.
I want to be the cool. All
right, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast. Yes. My name is Donni Wiggins. It has been great to share the stage with my friend David Shands. If you want to work with me, you can do. Did you know? You want
me to manifest the answer? I don't know what.
Did you know that I have a community for entrepreneurs?
Nah, you should have manifested the answer.
Did you know that I have a community for entrepreneurs? Mm-hmm. Did you know that there are people like those in this room who are building a business, but they don't know how to connect with their audience on social media? I've developed a solution.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. It's called Post to Paid, you guys. Post to Paid is a service that comes directly to your cell phone every single day of the week, 3 times a day. 3 times a day. I send you the caption because your girl is bomb when it comes to writing captions. I send you exactly what to say. All you have to do is match your picture or your video to it. And guess what?
What?
People getting paid.
People getting paid?
They getting paid. They are building their business through my Post to Pay platform. You know how much it costs?
How much?
Ask me again.
At least $1,000 a month.
It should be. It's $37 a month.
No
Everybody
way.
Here go, do you hear the people's reaction to the value that we're dropping for $37 a month? All you got to do is text the words Post to Paid to 404-737-2767. And I got one more thing.
Talk to me.
Did you know?
I didn't.
That I'm a 7-figure business coach.
Are you?
Yes. But do you know what's better than me being a 7-figure business coach?
Me?
I train and develop other 6 and 7 figure business coaches. Did you know that? Guys, if you are looking to start your own coaching, consulting business from scratch and you want to take your business to 6 or 7 figures, find my details. Link is posted in the description of wherever you're watching this, or sixfigureedu.com. That's all I got.
What?
Oh, how could I forget? And I have a new podcast, you guys. Woo, 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 woo. We're going to try that one more time. I'm feeling like I want my stuff to be like Arsenio Hall. I know you guys are too young, but when Arsenio would say something really exciting, the crowd would go, woo, 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 woo. It's important that you match the fist with the sound. Woo, 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 woo. And Reese, I need you to get the audience when we do this. Oh my God, you guys, I got a new podcast.
Oh, no.
Y'all need some acting lessons. Full transparency with Donni Wiggins. It is my spin on allowing you to be a fly on the wall with some of my successful friends, where we are coming in and we're having conversations with people who have done something great, but it's kind of like if I were having lunch or drinks or dinner with that person, the conversations that we'd be having that you're normally not privy to having. So make sure you check the Social Proof Network for Full Transparency podcast with Donni that drops every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Absolutely. 9 a.m. 9 a.m.
Do me a favor, drop in the comment. When you first see my face, what's the first words you think of when you see my face? Throw that in the chat. I'm interested to know. We got a podcast Q&A coming up. We pretty much do it on a regular basis. Go to thepodcastclass.com, thepodcastclass.com, and get this Q&A work, man. Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here.
Subscribe.
We are out.
Peace.
Bye.
If you like the video that you just watched, click this one. You're going to like this one, maybe even more. Click it right now. So here's the thing, Melissa. I didn't name this podcast yet.
Okay. It'll name itself.
It'll name itself.
Yeah, it'll name itself.
Oh, I'm excited about this interview already. So